I'm out here at Clanton Cemetery, and sad is understatement. What I see are overgrown graves of people who used to live in this neighborhood, people who their families want to visit and they can't. My sister last night asked me a very important question. She said, how many of these graves in this cemetery are soldiers? So, I had to think for a second. You see, I did record every single grave in the cemetery. And, well, let's see if I can get a good... Nope, it's not going to let me do it. I'll just do this. So the question was, how many graves are soldiers? Well, I started out. We found 102 known burial sites in the cemetery. We tried to get the local township to cut the grass, but they don't own the land, so that causes an issue because legal liability. So then I did some research and I found that this particular property has been in the system multiple times, multiple ways. It's known as Oak Grove Road Cemetery. It's known as Oak Lawn Cemetery. The problem with that is there's another Oak Lawn Cemetery that is, well, just a few miles away, less than 30 miles away. It's in Camden County, not in Gloucester County. So that caused confusion with who owns the site and which church owns the site and messed up paperwork back and forth. And I said, there's 102 people that we know of that are buried here. My sister said, but how many are soldiers? And I said, well, I'll check. And the local VFW do give us, as you can see the flags flying here and there, they do come once a year and dump a large grouping of flags in front of the sign at Clanton Cemetery because they can't get onto the grounds to place the flags. Well, we did that this spring. And the problem is, out of over 100 graves, there's 28 soldiers buried here. 28 people. We should be respecting these people. We should be respecting their families, their friends, their loved ones. Anybody that wants to come and visit their family's graves should be able to, but limited liability. You can't bring a lawnmower on. So the township's not allowed to cut the grass. Churches are confused. Many of these graves have obituaries that state that they were from the local churches. But limited liability. I tried proving who owns the land and they said, well, it's not enough proof. So we're just going to let the graves overgrow. These 28 men and their families, we're going to let them overgrow. Yet, 6 of them men, 6 were Civil War soldiers. You wouldn't know it because their gravestones do not look like military gravestones. In fact, this gentleman here, his gravestone was buried. It's one that I'm buried, and in the process I also did research to find him, his wife, his family, his friends. But again, limited liability. We don't want anybody getting sued trying to do the right thing. The next time you argue with a soldier over right and wrong ways to respect them, so help me God, the name, the word, lawsuit, the name of a lawyer should never pass your lips. And so help me God. For everything these men and women have given us should be really utter a phrase so disrespectful as limited liability? Really? Limited liability? No. I can't really cut the grass because my allergies are so bad I'll end up with a severe asthma attack. And between my allergies, my asthma attack, going into like an anaphylactic shock type level of asthma, it's really not a safe thing for me to do. And that's my limited liability. So I've got to do the right thing because my parents taught me to do the right thing. And they said when a soldier, they didn't specify which soldier, is in trouble or in need, you help that person. You see, my mom and dad didn't discriminate against a male or female soldier. They didn't discriminate against a young or a old soldier. They did not fear limited liability. What they feared was at some point in time in their life, some people call it the final judgment or whatever, they would be somewhere, anywhere, and be judged for saying something as disgraceful as limited liability. Stop them from trying to help a fellow soldier. So, with that, I ask you, will you come cut the grass at Clanton Cemetery, or are you afraid of limited liability? It's just sad.